Hello.
And music's dead. Cool. So, welcome to Let's Talk Esports. This is our 8th episode. Let me just throw that up on the screen really quickly. Episode 8. And this is going to be all about the big show. So, what that means is we're right around the corner pretty much from Worlds season. Pretty much. Yeah, everything. Everything and then some. So, we've got Worlds literally tomorrow. That's literally around the corner. You go to bed, you wake up, bam, it's there. 8 a.m. Eastern for those of us over for here, 9 a.m. or later or earlier in some cases, in North America. And then you've got also this weekend the ESL One New York Dota event, which is the first major Dota LAN of this season, so to speak. It's also the first major Dota tournament since 6.85 came out. 6.85 being the major patch. Dota does block patches pretty much with some minor stuff. And,
that was the Dota Reborn, isn't it?
No, Dota Reborn came out, was still on 6.84. Dota Reborn was just a client shift.
Okay.
So, but this is an actual balance patch where we'll get to that in a minute. But anyways, so we've got that. We've got the Nanyang Dota 2 Championships the end of November. We have the MLG World Finals the end of October, and that's Dota MLG Championships. We've got Smite MLG Championships for Xbox One. We've got Smash Championships. We've got Call of Duty Championships at MLG. They might even be trying to get some Counter-Strike people there. Again, that's difficult because it's Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike then also Counter-Strike Major at the Cluj-Napoca end of October as well. Big House 5 middle of October. BlizzCon hype. Smite is rolling up. I mean, everything in Smite right now is talking about prepping for SWC 2016. So. Yep. All the news is pretty much dead because nothing is going on because everybody is going try-hard mode. We just got to get to the event. Everybody's for the most part trying to put their shit aside. Whether or not they hate each other, they're just trying to push forward. That said, we still got news. That's what we're going to start with first, as always. So with a bit of the theme though, we're going to start with Smite. So this week, 2 major roster shakeups that have been publicized and have been a big deal. TSM on the back of Bush leaving, then and all of their roster shakeup stuff have decided to bench Divios for this week. It is very obvious that this is a only this week thing for now, and part of that may just be because of how well Divios can play. Divios is being benched for toxic behavior and not actually working to better the team. My understanding is sort of what I can gather as an outsider is that the team's been trying to fix shit because, well, they haven't exactly been doing all that hot since even before Bush left. But Bush leaves, and, you've got Gars working with Snoopy now, you've got Yannick trying a new role, you've got Jigs playing on the big stage now, and they're all, working at it, and Divios is over in the solo lane giggling his ass off because, haha, I'm fine. But if he's not performing perfectly, then there's something that he does need to fix, and even then, he needs to be trying to support his team. So, that's a very legitimate reason to bench somebody, in my opinion. Now, the fact that they picked up Bickham of all people, I'm not sure how I feel about that. BCHM, Beckham, there's about 14 different ways to pronounce his name. None of them are right. Because he, rolls 14 R's in there as well, so we just give up. He's played professional Smite before. Something like that. He's played Pro Smite. He was a professional jungler. That's just it, though. Is we've never seen him play Smite at the top level and do well, quite frankly. He's never been on a top half of the split. He's been bottom 3, bottom 4 when he has played. And so, I'm going to really quickly pull up his eSportpedia profile because I want to make sure I get this right.
I was about to ask you what teams he's played for before.
He played on Cognitive Gaming.
I was about to say.
Cognitive Gaming Summer Split. He took 7th, and then before that, he was on Nomad and 5 Angry Men in Challengers. So again, he's not a bad player, but he doesn't play solo lane often. Like it's just like it's like look at the thing. Um. So there's that. This was the shenanigans involving COG back in the day, or back in the summer split. So that's kind of what happened there. So again, Bickham, if he can make it work, if Mr. Benjamin Shimura can play up to Divios's level, props. But the problem is that he's got big shoes to fill, or tiny shoes to fill.
Does.
So that's something.
Yeah, Divios is a big boy.
Yeah. So there's that that they need to keep in mind. Now they have not been performing well at all. So I mean, again, we really quickly look at TSM's North America. Where's TSM? TSM last week. How did they do? This website is really poorly done for trying to find recent. I mean, it's a beautiful website. Smite Games, but TSM lost both their games to Eager. They did beat Enemy, so there is that. But I believe that those matches were, 9-06. Those were at the beginning of September, before the COG Invitational, where they didn't do too hot either. And so that was back. Their last wins were before the role swaps. Now, I'm personally not a huge fan of saying, okay, we're making a change after 1 week of gameplay, but at the same time, this sounds like something where they've been having a problem with Divios for a while, but Boosh has been able to keep him in line, or Gars has been able to keep him in line, but now Gars needs to help out Snoopy. Again, there's a lot of questions there that are raised, and we don't know. Now, right. The other big Smite change was announced today. Confrey was benched or kicked. He was kicked. He left.
He's kicked. No,
he was kicked. All right, he was kicked.
It seems like he was kicked.
Yeah, it really does, because there was an announcement from Titan, and he's like, yeah, the public announcement caught me off guard, meaning that they had probably talked to him about it the day before, or like something like being like, hey, we're thinking about replacing you. We're just feeling like this isn't working out. Blah blah blah. And then next day, boom, boot up his ass, and he's flying 3 blocks down the road. Right. He's not too happy because he's roster locked, which sucks. But that's the rules. Them's the breaks. So
country rip.
That said, Ataraxia will be moving back to Hunter because, let's be honest, Ataraxia is not a solo laner. He never was. Titan has not been in a good place. They went 1-1 with Myrmidons. Myrmidons, not saying you guys are bad, just saying you guys have had roster shakeups as well, and your consistency ain't exactly key. So, it's not pretty. So
It's not.
That said, solo lane, Brutoz is coming in, Brutoz, and he's I did not know that. He was actually on Team Instinct.
Yes.
So I've forgotten about that. So he was, floating. Also, Hurrywind joined Cloud9 for this week. Hurrywind will be playing mid for Cloud9 this week, while MLC Stealth is off on his honeymoon.
So, congrats to MLC, and congrats to Hurrywind for finally making it back onto another SPL team.
Yeah.
Kipo.
So, shots. Well, I mean, let's be honest. Yeah, pretty much.
Nothing against Hurrywind, but I just you see him on Twitter, and he's like like all the time, and I'm just like, bro, like people see you.
We know you're there. Calm down.
So. And
then also really quickly, we did have the first week of Challengers Cup. I work on that, so I was there for both Tays this weekend. Next weekend I'll just be there for EU. I might be there as a spectator, but that's about it. Now, North America, the teams kind of made sense in terms of who ended up where. Burly Men taking third. They're a really good roster, and they didn't have their main hunter. That's big. Vicious and Delicious took fourth, kind of expected.
Who was on the Vicious and Delicious team?
This Vicious and Delicious roster is and there's nowhere listing their roster.
That's unfortunate. The old Vicious and Delicious became Exertus, which became COG, which won. Or did they get second at the launch tournament?
Forever ago.
No, third or something. They got third. That was the old Barracuda squad.
Yeah, that's 3 Vicious and Deliciouses ago. There was a Vicious and Delicious that happened. Doesn't matter. Short version is this is a new squad. Some remnants of the old Vicious and Deliciouses. They're a bunch of guys that make sense, and they're in this top slot. I think this actually might be the Ninja Sniper squad.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong though. Yeah, because it's got Benny Q on it. It's Benny Q and Ninja. They dropped Magic as Gaming and went in. We'll be getting a little more in depth with the Challengers Cup as things go on, because there's going to be a period of time in Smite where there's not going to be pro news because the lands will have occurred and the Challengers Cup will still be going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll have some stuff to talk about there just towards the end of it. Over in Europe, though, big deal here. Moxies did win. They beat out Team Bazaar. However, Team Bazaar, group of pretty much nobodies. If you're a player in Europe who play top tier ranked, you recognize every guy on that team. But unless you play top tier ranked, you have no fucking clue who these guys are. We're like, okay, we'll tune in to Team Bazaar versus Team Instinct. Like, it'll be a good game. Nope! Team Instinct got bodied. And now Team Instinct is the Night's Watch. So Team Instinct taken third. Not too happy about that. Losing Road, again, another squad that's pretty good. Netflix and Chill is the other group to keep an eye out for. Netflix and Chill has Game Hunter. Netflix and Chill has NQ. Netflix and Chill is a very good team. Who did they lose to? Team Instinct. So they're arguably top three. Problem is that Team Instinct got bodied by Bazaar, and Netflix and Chill, lost to Team Instinct. So there's that. Over on the other side of the bracket at the time, we had Moxies and Losing Road in that Moxies took first, Losing Road losing out to them. Again, I'm looking forward to seeing how Challengers Cup plays out. Both sides are much more competitive than they used to be at the top level. When you got rounds of 64, obviously round ones are going to be kind of ugly. On the other hand, you've got teams like the Poppies who played Team Illusion. Team Illusion, another team of people that I don't really recognize. Team Illusion did great. Problem is they lost to Moxies, so that's where that happened. But the Poppies have the biggest Spanish language streamer in Smite on their team in the solo lane. Warchi War.
What you want?
Don't play Ratatasker against Fenrir.
Is that what he did?
He picked Ratatasker into Fenrir.
Ratatasker.
He picked a rat? No. And then just no. Enough about that. It was Challengers Cup is going to be hype, and you got a lot of teams saying, "Hey, we want to be in the big show." They want to be playing in the Pro League next year. They get that they can't play at Worlds, but they're fine with that. They're trying to get in for next season. They're trying to make a name for themselves now because they think that there's going to be that Smite Season 3 money, which right now it's looking like it. Also,
it is.
10 grand for this fall split.
For winning Challenger?
Challengers Cup prizing $10,500 split between the top something. And that might be between each side. My guess is that it's $5,250 for NA, $5,250 for EU, and then you split that among the top four, but that's still like $2 grand for the top team winning 10 weeks. I'll take that. Take that in a heartbeat.
Right?
So, we'll talk about some of the other Smite stuff later. There's some again show stuff going on in terms of SWC, in terms of the Xbox shit. I will say I am so sorry to every Smite Xbox European team. That sucks. We'll get into that a little bit later. So let's do really quickly Worlds. We got. Hang on, I got the countdown. Where's that counter? We're at like 13 hours and change. 13 hours, 37 minutes, 46 seconds until the first match starts.
We're almost there, boys.
Well, until opening ceremony, excuse me. So, I'm going to have to keep my phone charged up at all the time. So, because it's just going to be like, okay, phone's up, okay, laptop's up, okay, and just going to gotta have that on all day. Because that is actually when League of Legends matters. To be perfectly honest. If you don't care about League, if you don't care about League at all, I don't give a shit. Go turn on. Go turn on League of Legends this weekend. Or if you don't, at least get ready to turn it on for knockouts, for quarters, semis, and finals, because that's when shit gets hype. That said, group stages have some amazing stuff. So
I'm excited. I'm excited about the group stages personally.
So let's do a real quick. Let's just do tomorrow. Let's do opening day. We've got Fnatic versus Invictus Gaming. Cloud9 versus Cloud9. Hang on. Let me rattle off tomorrow's games, and then I just want to know which games you're most excited for, not necessarily predictions, just which games are must-watches for you, okay?
Okay, alright, that's fair.
So, 10:30 in the morning, this is all Eastern, Fnatic versus Invictus, to 11:30, Cloud9 versus AHQ, these are all best of ones, I believe? Yeah, because it's groups. So
it's group stages.
Yeah, because it's group stages, so it's just trying to cycle them through. SKT versus H2K at 12:30. Edward Gaming versus Bangkok Titans at 1:30. CLG versus Flash Wolves at 2:30. And Pain Gaming versus Coup Tigers at 3:30. And then it'll rebroadcast later. So games to watch.
All right, this is actually a busy day. This is actually a really good game. You want to watch Fnatic versus IG? That's just gonna be nasty. You've got the European Koreans against
the Chinese Koreans,
the third place Chinese team. Cloud9 versus AHQ. I distinctly remember when I was tweeting because he was like, "Do people seriously think we don't got this? I've got new wrists, sneakies on the point. Like, let's go." They're going up against AHQ. AHQ has been looking really good lately.
AHQ has been looking really fucking good. And it's like, I watched Sneaky stream the last day he was in Korea. And I watched him playing, and I am hoping that it was just sloppiness because he's getting ready to get on a plane. And he's like, man, I've been playing nonstop, and I hope, really. But it didn't look pretty.
Okay.
Like, he's sitting there, and he was getting bodied by solo queue Korean nerds. So you got that fat kid in his mom's basement laughing at him, Korean, dropping that kek symbol or whatever.
The fat kid in the PC bang.
Yeah.
It's Korea.
That's right.
The thin, small boy in the PC bang.
Yeah, but, I mean, continue.
CLG versus Flash Wolves.
That should be a good game.
Flash Wolves is good. Flash Wolves are good. CLG is good. And then, I mean, that's pretty much it. So you got Fnatic versus IG, C9 versus AHQ, and CLG versus Flash Wolves. Those are the games to watch.
Yeah.
SKT versus H2K.
That's a flex show. That's a flex show.
Yeah, the other games are going to be one-sided. Way more one-sided.
Yeah, SKT, EDG, and Coup. Because if Pain Gaming manages to even get kills on Coup Tigers, to be perfectly honest, I'm going to be surprised. Because, brief recap, when Pain Gaming showed up in Korea, their AD carry, I think, tweeted out, "Oh, these freaking Korean teams want us to pay money to scrim them," and the Koreans all had to deliver statements to the coach. Their coaches had to deliver statements to the government because the government's like, "You're bringing dishonor upon League of Legends. Don't do this." And they're like, "We didn't." And so all the Koreans scrim locked the shit out of Pain while they were over there. They're like, "No, you caused us so many issues. We're not going to scrim your ass."
And Coup is the first one they play against, and Ku's like, "So, heard you were talking shit." Like,
oh, and that's just it. Is he specifically talked shit about Coup? It's not just like, oh, the Korean teams in general. It was Coup Tigers, and it's like, why would they want to scrim you? You're in their group, you dumbass. But
I see. Okay, let's talk about that very briefly. I have always, and I've been watching esports for quite a while, but I have always had I've been mystified at the aversion of like people in the same group stage or something like that, or whatever, in a tournament wanting to scrim against each other, or like never scrimming against each other. I've just been like, I understand where it's just like, oh, we don't want to show our hand or whatever, but like,
here's my thing.
I don't know.
Is when you've got as many teams in Korea as you had the Korean teams, you had Chinese teams that could play in because the ping's not that bad, and then you've got, the North American, the European, and then the Brazilians there. You've got options. Looking at Group A, like, if I'm CLG, I want to be scrimming against, AHQ, Fnatic, EDG, SKT, maybe, KT Rolster, LGD Origin. Those are all teams that I would want to scrim if I'm CLG.
Right.
In Korea. So why am I going to try and go out of my way to scrim the Tigers when, sure, the Tigers are good, but there's other options out there. And when you're that busy, it's like you might as well just, I'll just go to all these other teams, and that way it cuts things down on. That's how I would look at it. If I was a coach, I'd be like, all right, maybe if we could fit in a game or two against the Tigers and the Flash Wolves would be great. Pain Gaming, personally, I'm not worried about them. Because again, with the Tigers and the Flash Wolves, you're picking up something from the regions that they're at. You're learning, okay, how do the Koreans play? Coup Tigers play a part of that Korean meta. Pain Gaming is coming from the Brazilian meta, which is different. Everybody owns that. South America has a very different meta from the rest of the world. In terms of it evolved separately. It might actually be relatively similar when you break it down, but it evolved just like North America's evolved and Europe's evolved. So, screw Pain. You're not bringing anything to the table, to be perfectly honest.
I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. I've always just.
I mean, I hear you, and I mean, if I had a team that was in my group, be like, hey, do you want to scrum us? All right. But at the same time, when I've got 14 teams to choose from,
Why? Yeah. Okay. I guess
makes it easier.
Yeah. Okay.
So, okay, speaking of the faith,
The faith.
X-Smithy.
Smithy's back. He got his visa approved. They were going to be using who is he.
Who he? Oh my god, who he? Oh god, who he?
Is he?
Those
Who
tweets,
is he?
I saw them about a week late, but the fact that who he got picked up by some Korean girls and they lost him for 24 hours? Funniest shit ever. They're like, he's MIA, but you know he's ganking. It's like,
dude,
stay classy.
TSM, they had a fan meeting in Korea, and they tweeted out a picture of Lust Boy, and he was just like, he had like 3 or 4 Korean girls around him. They're cute girls too, and they're just talking to him. I was like, my man, that's Lust Man right there.
I find it funny because they're at a restaurant, they're there, and apparently these girls came up and were like, "Are you League of Legends players?" in like really bad broken English, and they're like, "Yeah," because I guess they had their jerseys or their jackets on or something, and they just kind of took them to the bar, and then they lost Tui for 24 hours.
Mm-hmm. That's how you do it in Korea, man. That's how you do it. Oh man.
So all right, real quickly, I guess we'll go ahead and jump into sort of our topic for the day, because that's the news. Really, there's not a whole lot. As we said, ESL 1 New York's this weekend. It's gonna be hype. But big show. We've got a lot of stuff going on over the next, not even 3 months. It's 2 months. We're at the beginning of October. October is negative hours away if you're in Europe, because it's 1, 2 in the morning in Europe right now. It's 5, 6 hours away for the rest of us at most. So October is right here. So at this point we're in October. All right.
Yep.
Worlds is now for League of Legends. You've got ESL 1 New York going on right now. You've got the MLG World Finals like a week or two from now. You've got the DreamHack Open Cluj-Napoca, which is the next Valve major for Counter-Strike, at the end of October. You've got the Dota 2 major in Frankfurt. That's also the end of October. Let me pull up those dates.
I've also got something to add to that. You've also got this weekend, October 3rd and 4th, the Heroes World Championship Europe.
Oh, the qualifiers from Europe. That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
I was getting ready to ask you about that.
Top 2 spot to go to the final meet, which is BlizzCon.
Okay, excuse me. The Frankfurt Dota major is not until the mid-November. So that's a little bit further out. I think Big House is the beginning of November. Nanyang Dota 2 championships are the end of October, the last weekend of October, first weekend of November. So we'll be seeing some Dota travel there. Although that's mostly Asian country teams. A lot of the North American and European teams said we don't want to be traveling right before the Frankfurt major. And then, as we said, BlizzCon. BlizzCon's what, mid-November?
Yes, I want to say November 14th, but that seems early to me.
All right, while you're looking that up. Yeah, no, plot twist, who he was actually just teaching them how to play League of Legends.
Yeah.
It's possible. But anyways, so the interesting things here are, this is now where each of these games
it's November 6th and 7th. I keep forgetting how short BlizzCon is.
BlizzCon's like 2 days. BlizzCon's like, all right, we're here, nut, walk out. That's really what it is.
It is. BlizzCon, you just go and you get your nut off real quick.
And it's like, all right. And that's why I have a hard time getting excited for it. Like, okay, Heroes, yay. But they're literally like, okay, here's all of our 16 teams, go. At the exact same time, the Hearthstone World Championship is go. And they brought back World of Warcraft arenas from PvP. Nobody plays that anymore, but there's $500,000 on the line for that. Again, 2 days, go.
God. Blizzard just has so much money, man.
Well, you know why Blizzard's doing it, right? Blizzard is like flexing their muscles and picking out what I think they're doing is they're also plucking the best casters and commentators as they go to start grooming for Overwatch.
That's the only reason I want to go to BlizzCon. I want to go chill with the Heroes people, and I want to go play Overwatch.
Dude, I want to go to Overwatch, and I want to go, all right, let me in the room. No, I don't want to play this shit. Let me in the back. Yeah, where the good stuff is. You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about. Let me
yeah.
play the good Overwatch. Because it's like Gigantic. Gigantic's coming out and they're working on it, but there's two betas. There's the patch that's before what everybody else gets to play, and then there's that public beta that's still under NDA unless you're a sponsored streamer. Um,
Bro, BlizzCon is sold out.
yeah, BlizzCon sells out, even though
Sold out.
it's like $150 for 2 days. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, it's been so long since I've actually like paid attention to BlizzCon. Like, back when I played WoW all the time, and like BlizzCon rolled around, I always used to remember like BlizzCon tickets are about to go on sale. 2 minutes later, BlizzCon tickets are sold out. I remember that now, but
Yeah.
I had forgotten that still happened. So.
Yeah, no, it's dumb because it's literally, especially when it's, hey, spend your money on shit that you already own. Do it. I mean, like, yeah. So the BlizzCon faithful are there. So enough on harping on Blizzard's big show. Back to what I was saying. It's all about, showing how much you can do. League of Legends is going to be flexing hard. I'm surprised that we haven't seen them release a new song yet, but they might have blown their budget from last year still. Hiring Imagine Dragons to write a song about them.
No, they've got some new girl doing music for them, they said. And then there was that whole debacle where, oh God, was it China? I'm pretty sure, yeah, the LPL finals. They had that, oh my God, it was such a mess.
Oh God, that cosplay shit show.
They had the whole live action skit on the stage where nobody knew what the hell was going on because nobody speaks Chinese. And
that is what I do not understand. I want to know who the hell thought it was a good idea for your English-speaking casters and the Chinese scene to not have somebody that can translate.
I mean, I don't know. They could have
That's my question.
Subtitles or something. But then after that, when they had all the cosplayers dancing and they had all the stuff on the screen, they showed Linkin Park. And they had Linkin Park, like literally they had like one of their album covers where they had the silhouettes of the band members and it said Linkin Park underneath it. And everybody went crazy. Everybody was like, Linkin Park Worlds 2015. And Riot had to make this big statement like, we have not talked to Linkin Park. They are not coming to Worlds. But everybody's like, oh, all right, we got you, Riot.
And Riot's like, and the thing is either way, is either be Riot's like, guys, we told you we didn't fucking talk to them, or everybody's like, all right, Riot, we got you. Like, it's one of those two, it's one of those two things, and he can wink because he's not wearing glasses. But the big deal here is everybody from Counter-Strike is getting stupidly butthurt again because Counter-Strike majors are $250,000 for prize pool, plus a shitload of money in sticker sales, because that's how Counter-Strike works for Counter-Strike majors.
What are they getting butthurt about then?
This next part. Dota 2 major at Frankfurt, $3 million prize pool. So, in the last 3 years, Valve has not increased the prize pool for Counter-Strike majors. It's the same thing every single time. And they're like, man, it's been 3 years, we're bringing you all this money, fuck you guys. And, I mean, you've got them making a ton of money off the stickers now, which is great. I mean, they paid out $6 million to the organizations through sticker sales for the last events. Cologne.
I've got two things to say.
So, go for it.
The second one's going to be a transition.
Okay.
The first thing is, wow, like, I bet those CS:GO players feel like the fucking the beaten redheaded stepchild. Like,
I mean,
like honestly,
Valve gives them a ton of attention that Dota doesn't get. There is a lot of attention that Dota doesn't get in some regards.
But there's been this whole. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but at the same time, I do get the whole like that portion of the scene does look bad when you're like, what the hell, Valve? So go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that there's been a lot of somewhat recently. I mean, you've heard about the Counter-Strike players where they still stand by their statements of like, you can't. It's not extremely lucrative to be a full-time Counter-Strike player. Still, like they're still running into like salary issues and stuff like that. Not that people aren't being paid. It's just like there's not enough money. So like,
I don't know.
$3 million Dota, $250,000, and it's Valve. Both are Valve games. Both are Steam games. It's just like very interesting.
Again, Valve. Part of that is that $3 million probably came out of the compendium. From the international. So there's that. Counter-Strike players. I don't know. Again, there's a lot of questions about how that can work, and that's not. That's up to to Valve to handle. There's different teams that handle the esports for Dota and CS:GO. You know, Gabe Newell is a Dota fan. He is not a Counter-Strike fan.
Right.
He appreciates the Counter-Strike players and he appreciates the game, which is why he still funds it. But he actually loves... I mean, the man comes out of hiding once a year to show up at TI. The man loves Dota.
True.
I mean, come on. The man was at the Super Bowl. Or no, he was not the Super Bowl. He was at the... was it the Super Bowl? It was either the Super Bowl or something else with a bunch of other Valve people. And they were like, man, screw this. Went back to their hotel room and watched Dota. Like, come on, they nerds and they love Dota. So
that sounds like what I would do.
Nah, man, if you had the seats that Valve had at the Super Bowl, you'd be there loving all of the free shit. Just like you want that VIP pass at SWC, you'd have that VIP pass at the Super Bowl.
This is true. This is true. So the next thing I wanted to bring up was, you heard about Richard Lewis was talking about this this week. I can't remember the exact details, so I'm going to be a bit fuzzy, and I do apologize on it. But Turner, the broadcasting company, Turner, TBS, was expressing interest in doing a broadcast, a 10-week broadcast. I think it was 5 weeks, 2 seasons.
No,
2
10-week seasons. 2 10-week
Two
seasons.
10-week seasons for Counter-Strike in 2016, and they're talking about they took like an airplane hangar and they're going to like retrofit it to have players in there, and they want to have like a live audience. Like, what do you think of this?
I haven't heard
I
about
think that's huge.
I had not heard about the airplane hangar. However, like I've been explaining esports to my grandfather. Just as a heads up, it's fucking difficult. It takes a while, but they're receptive. It's like the early 2000s when Counter-Strike tried to do this with 1.6, where you're going to the Now, the difference here is that the TV station came to us, the esports nerds, compared to the esports nerds going, please, sir, take this time slot and give us your scraps. It's like, no, TBS is coming begging to us, so hopefully there's some work there. You know, TBS has said, look, we don't want to interfere too much with the weekend tournaments, so we'll do Friday night. Now, I don't know how they're going to get these guys to this airplane hangar for their events for Friday, like how that's all going to work out. That said, again, it's going to be interesting that they chose Counter-Strike because, League of Legends, Dota, whatever, sure, they're a little bit harder to watch, but they're also a whole lot easier to explain to mom why you're watching it. So, now, to be fair, TBS, Turner Broadcasting, is the same company that owns TNT, and they show shit like The Equalizer all the time where guys are getting, shot in the nuts with a nail gun, so... They have they have no problem with graphic shit, but...
I'm really curious personally about the whole...
it's either going to be great...
Post 9/11
that's the problem, is there's going to be some other mass shooting, because, let's be honest, it's the United States, we don't know how to handle gun control. That's all that I'm going to say on that, and that's the most political you're going to get me on the stream for a while. But, somebody said, Matt Demers for the Score Esports, seriously, go follow the man, he's a genius. I think it's twitter.com/MATTDEMERS. This is Twitter. And somebody asked him on his Ask FM about this same thing, and he said, the next shooting that North America has is going to be blamed on this game. And he's right. It's going to be blamed on Counter-Strike unless
really sad.
Unless they neuter Counter-Strike and they show the tag mode again, where, okay, I put my hands on my head because I got shot and I'm laying down on the ground, which nobody wants to see. There's a lot of issues with Counter-Strike in terms of trying to make it easy for viewers. At the same time, I think that if they bring the right people on, it could be great. The problem is that if TBS is doing it in North America, that means that they're not getting the right people.
Yeah,
the good broadcasters and the good teams are all in Europe. I don't care what you have to say about Liquid or anything in North America. There is, short of getting maybe somebody like Steele and using him as a commentator and or production guy, because there's no way in hell that he can get on the team.
Isn't Hiko on Liquid now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Hiko, the savior of North America, and look, I loved him when he played competitively, but the
I
man
mean,
was off for so damn long. I cannot say he's great.
I agree. I agree.
So I'm not gonna go into. I mean, again, I haven't seen anything. I will watch the next major. I will watch the Americans that go. You know, I will see how that goes. But until then, I've written off North America. I really have. It's
TBS.
TBS. I've written off North America, and when you're showing North American Counter-Strike as this television show and everything, it's going to be rough.
What 6 teams would you have? Let's just say it's a 16 league. So
Okay.
like for me, like what 6 teams would you put? The only ones I can think of literally like C9, Liquid,
C9, CLG, Liquid.
CLG. I forgot about CLG. Like good
Dude,
lord,
CLG's
like,
actually
that's
okay.
That's the part, but that's my point about American Counter Strike. It's just like who the fuck is there? Like,
Yeah, no, actually, that's a good question. I'm gonna check
so like,
HLTV.
okay, so CLG, Liquid, C9. That's three more teams.
I would say Luminosity, but A, they're Brazilian, and B, they're not even
Right?
Renegades. They moved to North. They moved to
Go ahead.
North America. ESEA said, "No, fuck you. We're not letting you in, but we'll let the Brazilians in." All right, fine, whatever.
Wait, so Renegades paid to move their Australian players and got them a gaming house in America.
Yes.
Woo!
Hey,
I love
hey,
when stuff like that happens.
they want to be. They are like, we want to do this, and they're good players. They are
that is
actually
just
good
so
players.
eSports. I love that. Yes,
So-
they are. They are good.
Um,
All right, so Renegades.
Renegades, I would love to see them play. Renegades, Complexity, CLG, Cloud9,
good?
Liquid. Say again?
Complexity's good in Counter Strike.
Complexity has a team in Counter-Strike. I don't know if they're good necessarily, but they got a team. And then, God, I don't know. Do I want to say Enemy? Do I want to say Method? Do I want to say Mortality? Actually, no, Mortality didn't get in. Mortality lost to Enemy.
Oh God. I mean,
Enemy bought a good roster in Counter-Strike, so...
Okay. I like the team owner for Enemy. He's like, I'm young. I'm trying to do things right. Like
He does a lot of shit wrong, though, man. He does a lot of shit wrong.
yeah, yeah, he does.
So I'm just gonna be blunt about it. I mean, he killed his Smite team. He listened to Jerby. He didn't listen to their coach. That's all I'm gonna say. So we can talk more about that after.
What happens when you listen to Jerby?
Yeah, we can. I mean, if you want some more behind the scenes information, we can do that off stream. But it's rough, man. So Enemy's got that going for him, or against him, quite frankly. Let me pull up this MLG. Because MLG's got some stuff rolling. Just gotta. Oh yeah, Sivo's going on right now. CLG versus 3. See, I don't know who these 3's up nerds are. But yeah, I mean this MLG World Finals is gonna be crazy because it's a little bit of everything.
You're talking about the World Finals in
And
New
Nola,
Orleans.
Nolans,
Yes.
Nolans,
Nowhere. Nolans. You ain't
Nolans,
from around here. You ain't from around here, no you. Nolans.
Nolans. So you got Smash Melee, Smash Wii U, Smite, Xbox, not regular Smite because MLG doesn't know how to play with a PC and mouse. Dota 2, okay, I lied, and Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. So it's that's gonna be interesting. You know, I might actually go over to MLG.TV to watch something, which is terrifying to say because it's MLG.
I want you to find me in the crowd and just tweet me when you see me every time. That's all I want.
Hedge, they're following you on stream.
What?
Hedge, stop
Who?
blocking the camera. Stop.
What? Hello?
No, I'm saying it's
Oh.
my tweets to you.
Don't do that! I was like, I'm just sitting here yeah, you know, I thought you'd tell it right now.
Nah. I'm saying, Hedge, I see you.
Oh my god.
Then it's Hedge, stop. Hedge, you're blocking the camera shot. Hedge, you're blocking the screen. What the hell?
Yeah, nah, I wouldn't do any of that. I'm not gonna like jump up and wave my arms up and down like I'm an OGN.
Mom, I'm on the camera. But no, real talk, it's gonna be interesting to see as well.
Yeah.
When's the big house? Big House 5. Big House is soon.
What is the big house?
Big House is the end of. Oh shit! That's this weekend. Big House is the biggest grassroots event in Smash. So
Oh,
now,
okay.
Big House in general, not so much. The Big House 5 will be because they raised 36 grand. That's all that they raised. They were probably hoping to raise a little bit more, but hey, there was a really short window. It's trying to compete with Apex in terms of grassroots events, and it's a Smash Melee. I think they brought Wii U and other stuff. It's in Michigan. It's in the middle. I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere, but it's you know, it's not. It's not in Vegas, it's not in LA, it's not in DC, it's not in Atlanta, it's in like Detroit or just outside of Detroit. And they did. It's a it's a community effort, and that's Smash going, let's go. We're gonna do big by ourselves. They got a lot of big names going to it. So again, like we talked about here, the big show. That's their big show for this portion of time. The MLG one gonna be kind of a big deal too, but that's also MLG hosting a Smash event. It's not Smashers hosting a Smash event. And in fighting game communities, the fighting game tournaments, except for Capcom Pro Tour, that are hosted by fighting game players, are miles better than anything else. It doesn't matter what the production quality is, because the nerds that are Smash nerds love that game so much that they would rip their spleen out and sell it if that is what they needed to make a good event happen. I mean, that's really what it is. I mean, that's how much they love their stuff. So, yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting to see what all goes on over the next couple months. A lot of flexing from organizations saying this is what we can do, this is what we can do. And it's a little bit of the beginning of some things. Dota, beginning of their season. Counter-Strike is Counter-Strike's a perpetual season. There's no peak. League of Legends wrapping up their season. Heroes wrapping up their season. Smite, not quite wrapping, but close, for their season as well. And then Smash, I think they're going to be taking a little bit of a break after Big House 5 because they've had so many big events back to back. So there's a lot of flexing going on, and it's going to be an exciting couple months.
Sounds like a plan. Sounds good.
So
hopefully.
Yeah, and BlizzCon, maybe we're going to be seeing, I would not be surprised to see at BlizzCon 2 or 4 Overwatch teams, that have been playing in some super secret alpha mode.
I hate when games do that, man. Like, honestly, it really irritates me. Because,
yeah, let's talk about that.
Those teams are going to be so much better than they're it's really weird because there's so many good people on the outside. I'm not talking about myself. I suck at shooters. I'm not talking about me. I suck at shooters, especially PC shooters. I grew up playing shooters on console, so I have always been bad at PC shooters. But I remember when the Heroes of the Storm did their show match last year at BlizzCon, and they had Team Liquid, and literally they announced it, and then organizations in NA scrambled for players just so they could have their name up there on the stage, and it was like a shit show. And I really don't like when orgs do that. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen this time, but the players and the alpha, it might, honestly, because Blizzard would allow it, but the players in the super secret alpha for Overwatch are just going to be
that's been going on for 4 months. It's been confirmed that these little leaks come out that hey, I got whatever, and then they lose their Blizzard account. But we know that it's been going on. The beta has been getting increased. There's some NDA, and I am all for NDAs for games that are in closed beta or whatever. I am all for that. For testing and stuff. But that's why you don't put in a competitive mode yet. That's why with Gigantic, they don't have custom matchmaking. That's why they don't have ranked in Gigantic.
I was gonna bring up Gigantic because Gigantic did it too. There are professional organizations. I can name several. Clashpoint, Warpath. You can go check them out on Twitter. There are organizations in Gigantic, the show match they had at the most recent patch.
Yeah, we talked about it before. Yep.
Exactly. So
and it's I'm impressed that they managed to work around it. And yeah, I'm not a fan of teams doing it because it's what's the point? Congratulations, you're the best of 2. You're the best of
Yes,
6.
that's my point. I was having a difficult way of explaining it. It's not that like I'm jealous they're in the beta or I don't think they're going to be relevant. I actually question their. I also question their relevance months later, especially as the game gets towards release, and afterwards. But like literally one of the only teams that I know of that has actually held their shit together through a situation like that where they were in the alpha and they were competitive show match and blah blah blah, and then fast forward to after the game is released and they're still in the top and they still have their shit together. Tempo Storm for Heroes of the Storm. They're like the only team I've ever seen
And they've
that
had
like
some
sticks
roster
in the
changes.
game or anything. Yeah,
And they've
had roster changes.
And so, but yeah, no, but I get that, and that's
Yeah.
that's a question of can you stick it out? And I find it interesting, and you know I think that that's a nature of where esports is right now, is that everybody's trying to get the jump on esports because Gigantic, again, because we're talking about them, Gigantic and Overwatch, two orgs that are arguably, or two companies that are arguably fighting for the same piece of esports pie. They're not the same game. Say again.
Paladins.
Oh,
Paladins bringing up the rear.
Yeah.
Paladins bringing up the rear.
Again, I've seen some stuff that's talking about how Paladins is different, but at the end of the day, they're 3 games that have similar concepts, you know, especially the control point mode, okay, payload, whatever, but it's control points, it's shoot each other, it's kill each other, you've got abilities, you've got something, whatever, and then it's go. And that's great for me. That is my kind of game. I came up from TF2, you know, that's my shit. So...
Same. TF2 was my first competitive game.
We gotta talk about
and the thing is, like, the Gigantic, Overwatch, Paladins, like, they're all along that same gradient, and they all are like along that same. They all require the same skill set, basically.
Yeah, and then you've got Battleborn. You know, is that other one that's coming out next year? That's
$60 though.
$60. Like, who's gonna pay it? Like, I mean, Gearbox. I love you guys, and I'm sure it's gonna be a great game, and I'm sure it'll even be worth $50 or $60. But you are screwing yourself if you are trying to be a competitive esport title right now, and you are not free to play, unless you have a lock on a market like RTS with StarCraft. Or your Counter-Strike, where everybody... Well, first of all, Counter-Strike is $5 or $2.50 if you wait. So, all right, fine. But beyond that, like, what are you gonna do? To be perfectly honest, you know, Counter-Strike. You know, it's interesting, and Counter-Strike's cost is actually hurting them in Asia. There's one team that was at DreamHack London from Vietnam that was amazing. People were like, who the hell is this team? Now, sure, they lost to the best European teams in an awkward round. You okay? You're like...
Sorry, I'm fine. I was just thinking.
You just look like you were like in massive amounts of pain, like you were like digging something out of your leg.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. Sorry.
All good. But so anyways, you know, they did well, but again, nobody in Asia plays Counter-Strike because Valve was pushing this Counter-Strike Live shitty ass game that's some secondary
Counter-Strike Live?
Seriously, it's available. It's like published in partnership with Nexon or something. It's on Steam. I'll pull it up right now.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah, let me look this up. Counter-Strike Nexon Zombies.
Oh god, I've seen that. Okay,
yeah.
that's the. I thought that was just like a side project or something. I thought that was just like we having fun with the engine.
No, it's not even the same engine.
Or you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Very odd stuff.
But anyways, yeah, it's this weird thing, and it's like, all right, whatever. Pretty much, it's like, all right, fine. If that's what you're pushing over there, that's fine. But you're killing yourself with that, because Asia would eat that shit up if you actually set it up correctly. In terms of esports and stuff, but maybe we don't want Korea coming back and shit stomping us. Apparently, in 1.6, there was a period of time for about 2 years where the Koreans were like, all right, let's go. You know, crack the knuckles and just steamrolled Europe for a little bit because it's Korea. But no, esports are in a weird spot right now, and everybody's flexing because they need to. And
it's because like 2016 is going to be the year. 2016 is the year where like you're going to start seeing it blend into mainstream media again. Like mainstream media, like Alpha Drafts being picked up by DraftKings or FanDuel.
Alpha Draft got picked up by FanDuel because FanDuel said, shit, we can't let DraftKings beat us. And now you've got Unicorn and Vulcan going, shit, what do we do?
Yeah, I see Snoopy. Snoopy's like dabbing at his forehead, like, oh dear. My push-ups won't save me now.
I mean, to be fair, they've got a lot. They've made a lot of their money back, so that's not a problem. They're just gonna have to kind of bail,
Yeah.
which sucks to suck. But hey,
It's weird too, because like Vulcan was like one of the first, and they were like the largest for a long time. But like,
they're still big.
then, yeah, but
They just
like,
can't compete.
so, what was the other one that got picked up? It was Alpha Draft and who?
Alpha Draft is the only one that got picked up.
No, I thought DraftKings picked up somebody.
No, they didn't. DraftKings just stepped in and said, we're doing this now on our own.
Oh.
Yeah, no, DraftKings just stepped in and flexed.
Forgetting? It's Vulcan, Unicorn, Alpha Draft. I'm forgetting somebody.
I don't know.
It feels like I'm forgetting somebody. It feels like there's somebody missing. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. You're thinking, aren't you?
No, I'm checking for news. Because this is right around. For whatever reason, organizations love being like, so Wednesday. Let's drop news right now. Like, and right now all I'm seeing is people complaining about the new God and Smite. Because they're butthurt. Nope, nothing new. So it's gonna be interesting. A lot of teams, fighting for the top, and we're gonna see a lot of competition that we're only gonna see once a year. This is the only time that you're going to see Brazil versus North America versus Taiwan versus Korea. During groups, and that's the best thing about group stages is you get to see this melding. And unfortunately, Kaboom didn't make it this year. I love Kaboom.
Rip. I love Kaboom too, man. I
loved him in Counter-Strike. I loved him in Dota, or not Dota. Excuse me, they don't play Dota. I loved him in League. Shit happens.
Just never forget. Never forget.
Dude, last year was Kaboom's year because they made it to they came to North America, competed, stole a North American qualifying spot away to go to the majors in Europe. Played at two majors in Europe, or played at a major in Europe before they got bought out by Keydstars. Keydstars then traded them to Luminosity, and Luminosity shipped them back home to.
Was Kaboom even an organization anymore?
I don't know.
Because yeah.
It's on channel 6.
So,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. So it's gonna be interesting to see where things go. And like you said, the next year there's gonna be a lot of organizations trying to flex. ESL cannot be happy with what they have. They need to start pushing again. See, ESL needs to start growing.
I would love to see ESL involved in the TBS thing, but like
ESL's owned by a European company now, a European media organization.
Do you know which media organization?
I don't remember.
Because that just screams them butting heads. Like they're, you know what I mean? Like I would love to see ESL and their casters. I would love to see Pansy on TBS. That would just be like,
dude. I'd love, that would be interesting. Again,
I'd love to see Joe. Don't call me Joe. Joe Miller.
Yeah,
Miller.
Miller. Yeah, no, there's some interesting shit there, but no, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. Was that it for tonight?
That might actually be it. I mean, there's not really a whole lot to talk about, like the broad spectrum of the.
This is the calm before the storm.
The majors. So that's just it. Is that it is? It's the calm before the storm. There's a lot of shows that are hype. We're both looking forward to League of Legends Worlds. I have a secondary charger for my phone that I have a feeling is just going to be plugged into it for the next 2 days. While I walk around tethered to it, going, okay, what's going on?
Reddit and Twitter are going to be your best friends for Worlds.
Nah, fuck that, man.
The memes are going to be
the memes are fucking hilarious.
Oh.
But
I can't remember what game it was. Thorin said, I think it was TSM. Whenever TSM plays, I'm telling you right now, go to Thorin's Twitter. Just go there. Just go there and wait, because he said I'm going to put on a show. I'm ready. So ready. I'm so excited. I just want to see the memes. Like,
oh shit, the Red Fight District is this weekend?
The what?
Oh god. Okay.
What just happened?
I was like, oh yeah, Capcom Pro Tour. I should look that up. the European rankings, which is the qualifiers for Pro Tour. It's weird because it's premier events are ones where they fly. If you're in the tour, Capcom pays for you to go to the event.
Okay.
However, if it's a ranking event, it's a little bit different, and you sort of go and you play and whatever. Upcoming events, the ones that are going on this year. You've got the Red Fight District this weekend, and that's in the Netherlands, which means that we get to see the Danish street fighting scene, which I saw them last year, and it's interesting. It's kind of weird, but it's a lot of fun to watch.
Those Danes are good.
This weekend, you also have Z Fighting Game Champion, which is a CPTA qualifier. So that's a qualifying event for Capcom Pro Tour. It's not an official Pro Tour event. It's one of those like, okay, the top 2 out of this are now Pro Tour players, and we will bring them into the actual Pro Tour.
Okay.
Then next weekend, there are 4 premier Pro Tour events, and these are the last ones before shit becomes real in terms of the Pro Tour for the end of the season. And that's SoCal Regionals in Ontario, California, which is just outside of Sacramento. The Ultra Hayakushu Cup in Tokyo. Milan Games Week, end of October. And the CPT Brazil registration, which is technically a premier event, but it's the Brazilian fighting circuit saying, okay, let's go. Then wrapping up October, you've got Defend the North in New York City, Cyber Olympico Central America, which is the Central American Cyber Olympics in Costa Rica. Then you have the CPTA Last Chance qualifier, which is in Singapore, which wrap up that CPTA that we talked about this weekend. That's the very beginning of November. Then you've got Canada Cup, which is the last premier event in North America before the Capcom Cup Finals. Then you've got the Pro Tour Asia Finals in the middle of November. You have DreamHack Winter, which is the last premier event for European Capcom Pro Tour. And then you have the Capcom Cup Finals, which are held in San Francisco, California, the beginning of December 5th and December 6th. And that's where they go, all right, everybody that's qualified, get your butts in here, we're going. And that is going to be the best Ultra Street Fighter 4 event ever, in my opinion, because it is going to be the last event before Street Fighter 5. So that means that everybody's going to bring out all the stops because they want to be the final champion of Street Fighter 4. They want to be that person. And I mean, right now it's looking like it's going to be Momochi because Momochi's sitting on 1,300 points. I mean, Momochi's just a freaking god. He won at Evo as well. So, and sorry guys, I get worked up over Street Fighter. I suck at fighting games. I really do. But the technical
whatever's your passion,
skill. What?
I said whatever's your passion, man. Don't ever apologize.
It's weird. Because I love Dota and I love fighting games, but I can't play your traditional fighting games and I can't play Dota, but I love watching them. It's weird. I think it's the technicality and the strategy to it.
I mean, that's how I am with Counter-Strike. Like, I can't play. Like, have you seen me play Counter-Strike? I'm literally like not even ranked. I don't even have enough games to start playing the games for ranked.
Oh, I stopped playing when that thing happened, and I was like, I am not grinding this shit out again. Like, yeah. No, I lost my rank. It's been so long. I don't care at this point. But yeah, Counter-Strike just got too slow for me in terms of being able to play it competitively.
Gotcha.
So again, objective shooter, man. Dude, I'm looking forward to seeing. I want to see something other than TF2 start getting big again because there are so many really good competitive TF2 players that I want to see not have to deal with the bullshit that is ESEA. The biggest reason that North American Counter-Strike suffers is because of ESEA. ESEA screws their players consistently. They don't even deny it at this point. Say again?
How so?
The ESEA client used to be used to mine bitcoins on your computers. It now is literally spyware. It sits in your computer and collects data with your permission, but it collects data that you don't tell it that it's allowed to take. There was actually an event during that ESEA ESL combined event where it crashed $4,000 computers, full blue screen. It's like what? This was back, and it's literally, they pushed this patch the same day that matches were scheduled. And if you couldn't play, too damn bad, we don't care.
R.I.P.
Yeah, our ESEA makes so much money, and it pisses guys like me off because they milked TF2 for so much and then just left it in the dust. I mean, it's still even around technically, but it's just it that pisses me off. And so I want to see, I want to see a game that's also supported from an esports perspective by the companies. Sure, Valve's bringing matchmaking to Team Fortress, but it's too late now. I say that
By matchmaking, you mean like the matchmaking we all cry about in various other games, or what?
Yeah, pretty much. The thing is as much as you complain about matchmaking,
at least we have it.
You have it. Right. It gives you something, and is it really all that bad? The answer may be yes. I
was about to say. I was about to say. You make a very valid point. Like, matchmaking is usually abysmal, but like, at least we have it. So.
But at least you have it. It's better than it's like competitive matchmaking. I'm gonna use the example of Dirty Bomb. Dirty Bomb has matchmaking and open servers. Matchmaking is for competitives. Open servers are for pubs, pretty much.
Right.
And you hop in, you play whatever. And people use the quick join feature. And what it does for quick join is it says, okay, if you're under maximum level of 5, it sticks you in the max level 5 servers. If you're between 5 and 10, it puts you in an open server. And if you're 10 and above, it tries to put you in a minimum level server. But and levels are based purely on how much time you spent in the game, not how good you are in Dirty Bomb. So I'm just going to put that out there. You can be level 30 and be trash. You can be level 5 and be awesome. The problem is there's like 4 minimum level servers. And a lot of the times they're not full enough to actually qualify hitting that quick join feature. And so a lot of players, myself included, will just go, okay, server list, pick the one that's closest to full, go. And then you get people complaining about matchmaking in chat because they quick joined and are getting their faces stomped in because they're level 4 and they just clicked join, they didn't go to quick join or select a maximum level server. And shit happens. But again, there's no matchmaking there. But then you go over to competitive side and at least it tries to rank you and it lumps you together and it tries to make it match. Big deal, big difference. Smite, okay, matchmaking's a joke there. Dota, let's wait 2 hours and then play an hour game where it sucks. I don't know enough about League of Legends matchmaking, but I mean, everybody complains about League of Legends matchmaking.
People complain about people being stupid, but the matchmaking actually works phenomenally well. Surprisingly, I would actually say that. I would actually argue that. But like,
I would say the same thing with Counter-Strike in terms of matchmaking working. And I think the biggest issue is that when we talk about Smite and its matchmaking, the matchmaking itself does not look like it's actually horrible. The problem is when you hit those fringes, it just goes batshit bad. It's not just like, oh, like it kind of messed up and it put like a Diamond 5 in with Masters players or a Platinum player. It's like cannot compute, and it throws like a silver player in, and it's like, where the hell did you get that algorithm?
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know, but whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. So we are way off topic at this point.
A little bit, but it's fine. It happens.
Pretty much. So we'll be back. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you go ahead and do the outro.
All right, I was gonna say we'll be back next week. We will have results from ESL1 New York. We will have results from League of Legends group stages. I may be able to have some. If I remember, we'll have information on Big House 5. Might forget because let's be honest.
Heroes in Prague.
That's you.
That's me.
So we'll just kind of have to see what all we can pull out of this weekend because there's just a lot going on. We might need to start bringing in more people for this damn show if we're gonna try and cover so much stuff.
That's what I'm talking about.
So.
All right.
There's a lot going on, and I'm looking forward to it, but we will see you all next time. Once again, my name is mtarget. You can follow me on Twitter at mtargetproduct. This man over here.
I'm Hejiminy. You can follow me on Twitter at HejiminyReigns. Quick shout out to our sponsors, Alpha Draft and Totino's Pizza Rolls.
All right. Oh, okay. Before we cut, Totino's Pizza Rolls, man. I love the fact that they sponsored the BlizzCon events. Or not BlizzCon, but the North American qualifiers. I loved even more the fact that the freaking announcers that were like, shoutouts to our sponsors, can be hype as hell for shitty motherboard manufacturers. But then as soon as they talk about the sweet, greasy goodness of a Totino's Pizza Roll,
oh god,
that is like, and Totino's Pizza Rolls. Like, man, that is mainstream. That is General Mills saying that you are worth throwing money at.
True.
And you treat them like second. Man, they paid the same amount of money as that shitty ass motherboard, and they are that sweet fatty goodness that you want your, heart attack
General
laden
Mills has
15
been
year olds.
feeding America for the last 50 years or longer.
So, I mean, really, it's like when we start getting sponsors in esports that aren't, Razer, Logitech, TT Esports, Tesoro Tech, BenQ, Max Namek, DX Racer, you need to understand that you might not necessarily love that food, but unless you are morally opposed to it, you better be selling the shit out of that. Plain and simple. It doesn't matter if you don't use your product. When you are a big show sponsor or a big show announcer, you better be able to frickin' sell that shit. ESL does it all the time. ESL does it all the time.
You're right.
So,
all right.
anyways, that's my tirade. I'm sorry. I found a soapbox. I was trying not to soapbox this week, but
You're fine, Target. You're fine.
Anyways, thank you everybody. Like I said, we'll be back for episode 9 next week. Wow, we've actually almost made it to double digits. We're almost like a real show. Anyways, thank you very much. This will be up on YouTube in the next 2 hours, hopefully, as well. And of course, you're watching this on YouTube, twitch.tv/mtargetproduction every Wednesday at 8 Eastern.
Yes.
And we will see you next time.
Take care.